Welcome to another new session of GI tag session. Welcome to part 3 of the GI tag series that we were doing. This is Ranganathan SVN Kontala. It's your UPSC faculty mentor, trainer, educator. Now, if you haven't watched the part 1 and part 2, the link for part 1 and part 2 are shared in the description tab of this video. This is part 3 of GI tag. Now this series is very useful for your UPSC 2020 prelims as well as UPSC 2021, both for them. So this is Ranganathan SVN Kontala. Do follow me on my Telegram channel UPSC GS1, where you get all the updates of UPSC preparation, mentoring, guidance, completely free of charge. Now, onlineiascoaching.com is a website where you can join me and get all the latest current affairs. Also, follow me on my Facebook channel. Now, getting along with where we stop. Now, see, there is one interesting aspect in the last series. As I said, there was one Irish whiskey which was actually given a GI tag, same like that. Grana Padano is basically a GI tag. A cheese originating from the Po River Valley of northern Italy now has GI tag in India. Although the GI tag is given to India, so basically what this means is only cheese produced from this particular region, Po River Valley, can be sold in India as Grana Padano. This cheese is well known for its thick and creamy texture and very hard in terms of presence. Now the next important GI tag product, agricultural product, which is very important for us, is from the state of Maharashtra in the agriculture category. Geographical indication tag was given to Alfonso mango from Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg and the adjoining areas in Maharashtra in a move that will help identify the authenticity of this particular variety of fruit. Now, as you know, India is well known for mango. Alfonso has long been one of the world's most popular fruit and is exposed to various countries including Japan, Korea and Europe. Alfonso mangoes are actually named after Afonso de Albuquerque, the nobleman and military expert of the Portuguese colony, one of the first Portuguese governor generals of India, who actually seems to have introduced this. It was Portuguese who introduced grafting on mango trees to produce extraordinary varieties like Alfonso. Alfonso is a special Portuguese variety. It was developed during the Portuguese period. The fruit is also then largely introduced in Konkan, Maharashtra, Gujarat and parts of South India. So in spite of Alfonso being produced in so many places, only the mango produced from Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg and other adjoining areas of Maharashtra are being given GI tag as Alfonso mangoes. Now naturally, if it's mango, then it is Alfonso. Just like how Andhra has Banganpalli, Maharashtra has Alfonso mango. Alfonso mangoes are also well known for its pulp, for its fruity, pulpy texture. From the state of Gujarat, in the category of handicrafts, Rajkot Patola saris have been given GI tag. These saris are well known for its pure silk single ikat type of fabric, which is almost 800-year-old craft, famous for its very vibrant and imposing colors, designs and durability. The weaving of Patola sari on a single loom takes minimum 10 to 12 months, and the design are essentially traditional way, geometrical, floral, animal and leafy pattern. So geometrical, floral, animal and leafy pattern. And understand this, that the Patola saris are extensively popular with particularly bridal wear in the state of Gujarat in the category of handicrafts. From the category from the state of Bihar, in 2019 we got GI tag for an agricultural commodity called lychee, the Shahi lychee of Bihar. Shahi lychee is the most popular fruit developed in Muzaffarpur region and its neighboring districts of East Champaran, Vaishali, Samastipur and Begusarai. Lychee is known for its fibrous texture, very sweet flavor and well known for juice process. Lychee juice is considered to be extremely healthy. It is a very strong high in sucrose content. Similarly, from the state of Maharashtra in the category of agriculture, we got GI tag was given to Sangli turmeric, Sangli Chi Halad. The turmeric from the Sangli region, which has great medicinal value, accounts to nearly 70% of state's total production. So of the total production of turmeric which is produced in the state of Maharashtra, 70% comes from Sangli. Within Maharashtra, Sangli, Parbhani are major turmeric producing centers. Government of Maharashtra statistics, turmeric is grown on 11,300 hectares of land in Maharashtra, producing 1,90,000 metric tons yearly. Now this is actually government estimates. Of this, Sangli produces nearly 1,40,000. So totally of 1,90,000, 1,40,000 metric tons of turmeric is produced just from the Sangli region. So Sangli turmeric, another very important GI tag. And from the state of Gujarat, again in the category of handicrafts, in 2019, Pethapur printing blocks were given GI tag. These are basically wooden printing blocks of Pethapur, located approximately 7 kilometers from Gujarat capital, Gandhinagar. See, these are basically well known for its block printing. As you can see in this image, they are well known for its block design. The craft is preserved for the last 20 artisans from Pethapur belonging to Prajapati and Gajjar family. So basically, this is more or less like a family art. The mechanized and later computerized designs have reduced the importance of block printing for garment manufacturers nowadays. So these Pethapur printing blocks are facing strong competition from the printed clothing. Similarly, in 2018-19 only, for the state of Karnataka and Maharashtra, we see in the category of handicrafts, Kolhapuri chappal. Probably most of you do know what is Kolhapuri chappal. The GI tag to Kolhapuri chappals from Kolhapur, Sangli, Satara and Solapur districts of Maharashtra, Dharwad, Belgaum, Bagalkot and Bijapura, Karnataka. So both the states have GI tag, Karnataka and Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, Kolhapur, Sangli, Satara, Solapur. And from Karnataka, we see for Dharwad, Belgaum, Bagalkot and Bijapur. So all these places, the Kolhapuri chappal is produced. This chappal is well known for its originality. I mean, its stiffness as well as smoothness. This particularly Kolhapur chappal is facing very severe competition from local chappal makers across every country, across every state in the country. So yeah, giving GI tag to Kolhapuri chappal will give a unique special benefit to them. Now from the state of Bihar, in the category of foodstuff, we see Silao Khaja. This image, as you can see, Silao Khaja is a traditional delicacy of Nalanda district of Bihar. Silao Khaja is known for its taste, crispy layered structure, and naturally it has sweet. The sweet content is extremely high. Sweet consists of 12 to 16 variety thin dough sheets placed over one another. It is actually in this stage. The light yellow color sweet has wheat flour, sugar, maida, ghee, cardamom, anise seeds as main ingredients. It is crispy, hard, at the same time very sweet, very sugary sweets, mainly produced and very suitable for the local water and climate of Silao region. That's why it's called Silao Khaja. Now, see, a series of coffees were given GI tag in 2018-19. Now, in the state of Karnataka, basically in the early 2019, April, May, June section, they were given GI tags. Now, Coorg Arabica coffee, mainly produced in Karnataka, Coorg region, agricultural category. It's known specifically in Kodagu district of Karnataka. The coffee cultivation, naturally, it is an integral part of Karnataka's daily life, and particularly in Kodagu, it is important part of their day-to-day life and forms the backbone of the economy of the district till today. The district has unique biotic and abiotic conditions which provide the uniqueness which is required for coffee. The hilly slopes, humid to semi-humid type of climate, as well as warm to cold climate. The terrain provides for coffee. The broader landscape provides a unique aroma and flavor notes to the coffee when roasted. So, Coorg Arabica coffee from the Kodagu district, Karnataka. The raw coffee beans actually looks like this. When it is dried, it becomes like this. Now, along with this, in the state of Kerala, for the agricultural category, Wayanad Robusta coffee. Coorg was Arabica. This is Robusta coffee grown specifically in Wayanad district, which is situated in eastern portion of Kerala. Wayanad produces almost 90% of Kerala's coffee production and forms the backbone of coffee economy of Kerala. Wayanad Robusta coffee. The coffee from Wayanad district of Kerala, coffee grows both as pure crop as well as a mixed crop along with pepper. So that's unique. The Wayanad coffee grows as a mixed crop along with pepper. Again, in Karnataka only, in Chikmagaluru region, Arabica coffee. Just like Coorg Arabica coffee, Chikmagaluru Arabica coffee. It is the region in India where coffee cultivation first began. So coffee began in Chikmagaluru region in the state of Karnataka in the category of agriculture. It is intercropped with spices like black pepper, cardamom, areca nut, orange and vanilla. Natural coffee exhibits positive fruit characters and occasionally pleasant vininess. Okay, so this Chikmagaluru coffee is also produced along with black pepper, cardamom, areca nut. So this one is also produced as part of mixed cropping tradition within Karnataka. In Andhra, Arabica coffee was given for the Araku Valley, which is in Vizag region, agricultural category. Andhra and even in Odisha, Araku Valley Arabica coffee has a very pleasant acidic citrus grapey texture and a wild jaggery like sweetness. So this is different. So Araku Valley has that citrusy acidic kind of texture along with jaggery type of sweetness between light to medium strength. It is grown mainly in the regions of Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh and Koraput region of Odisha. Araku Valley coffee is well known. The Araku Valley Arabica coffee. Remember the difference between Arabica, Robusta. These are coffee varieties. They are well known for their invigorating aroma, the freshness which the coffee produces. Baba Budangari Hills Arabica coffee is also again from Karnataka. Baba Budangari Arabica coffee is grown in Baba Budangari Hills in Karnataka, in Chikmagaluru district of Karnataka is where the coffee was first grown. Remember this. The coffee grown here is known for its unique flavor and aroma. Selectively hand-picked and processes by natural fermentation in cup, exhibits full body acidity, mild flavor and striking aroma with a note of chocolate content, or it's a kind of chocolatey exhibit. Baba Budangari Hills exhibits full body, fair acidity, mild flavor and striking aroma with a note of chocolate in the cup. Now see, if you see, we've seen a few types of coffee and looks like Karnataka dominates it, then Andhra has a role in it, Odisha has a role in it, Kerala, Wayanad also produces coffee. Now overall, if you see in terms of coffee, in 2017 and 18, Indian coffee production stood at 316 million tons. Of this, Robusta coffee is the most dominant production of India, followed by Arabica coffee. And what is the main difference between these primary factors, or how these kind of help is, the soils which are required for Arabica coffee are deep, fertile, rich in organic matter, well drained and slightly acidic. That's why Araku Valley was acidic, Odisha was acidic, whereas Robusta coffees also have that kind of similar Arabica structure. Arabica requires gentle and moderate slopes. Robusta needs gentle slopes with fairly leveled fields like this. Okay. The elevation of Arabica is generally higher than Robusta. Arabica stands at 1000 to 1500 meters. Robusta stands at 500 to 1000 meters. Northeast and northeast aspects, whereas same as Arabica, the aspect is humidity required is a little higher for Robusta than for Arabica, and Arabica kind of blossom showers of March, April, whereas it requires February, March, and temperature for Robusta is very high. The needed temperature for Robusta is very high, whereas for Arabica it is comparatively lower. Italy is the top importer of Indian coffee in the financial year 2017 and 18. The major coffee growing states in India is Karnataka produces almost 54% of Indian coffee, of all coffee in India. Kerala produces 19%, Tamil Nadu produces 8%, Andhra and Odisha produces 17.2%, northeastern states produce 1.8%. So as of now, we haven't seen any GI tag happening for Tamil Nadu coffee or the northeastern states coffee. Having said that, that's it in this session, guys. Keep watching the entire course, and we will continue the more of GI tags as we go. We will keep adding more views. Do click like, share, and subscribe to the sessions. These will all be very useful for your UPSC preparation. Thank you for your time. share it on your social media profiles. I will see you in the next video.
you